Well, joining us on the broadcast this morning is Professor Sanjay Bhardwaj from the Department of South Asian Studies at JNU. Professor Bhardwaj, very warm welcome to you, sir. Right at this morning, I know it's still early doors. We'll have to wait till the voting percentage and all sorts of, the obiter dicta around this election comes across. We're also learning that a lot of pre-poll violence also took place. That train incident at Gopi Bagh is something that has also marred the sentiments of all the voters out there. But let me begin by asking you this. Anti-incumbency is usually a word that is associated with elections, when you're talking about elections, when you're running towards elections. Is anti-incumbency really a factor even at play over here, sir?
Thank you for the invitation, number one. Anti-incumbency was not an issue at all with the opposition. The opposition only demanding resignation of the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, number one, and second, that non-partisan neutral caretaker government. They were not raising issues of price hike, inflation, unemployment, poverty, and all these were not at all issue. And the government who had been repeating for last three consecutive terms had been voted because of her performance. Her performance in on economic front or economic indicators, while you'll see that Bangladesh is graduating to developing countries in 2026, and it is becoming upper middle income country by 2041. And when you'll see the per capita income and other socio-economic indicators, they are far better than many South Asian countries. So the people, they are happy with the developmental performance, and that it has become one of the fastest growing economy of South Asia. So anti-incumbency is not a factor. Only the issue of political maneuvering or political supports. These are the things that BNP and the opposition main opposition political alliance was trying to gather at the domestic front as well as international.
Professor Bhardwaj, if you could point out the five main issues that are actually the poll issues this time around for all the people of Bangladesh. I mean, we know that there is a brazen unemployment, and we know that the economy is also not doing as well as it was projected to. You're of the opinion that it's still doing far better than all the other Southeast Asian countries. But what are the five or four or the top poll issues this time around?
Would say the issues in the election are always not negative one. They are also that the governments they will project, they show their performance, that what they have done. So definitely that the credit goes to the ruling party for sustaining its economic growth, at least when there are adverse conditions of COVID-19 and there is Ukraine-Russia conflicts happening. So
Right.
it is sustained their economic growth, number one. Number two, of course, they have been successful. This government has provided a comparative political stability to the country, and that has given very conducive environment for the businessmen, investors to invest in this country. The third very important issue that she had adopted very balanced foreign policy. She maintained very good relations with China as well as India, and she had been participating in international events like G20 and BRICS and all that. So these are the things. Now, what are the negative issues? Of course, she would have given more space to the opposition political forces to cultivate and to cultivate their constituents and to have more space. But the problem with the with inclining just on the BNP is not a good idea, because BNP, the leader of BNP, the chairperson, she's very old. She's 90 plus Khaleda Jia, and her son is on self exile in London,
Right.
Tariq Rahman. And Tariq Rahman, he's running party, being sitting in London on Zoom meetings or on internet and all that. And what is happening, that Tariq Rahman is not ready to give command to the local leaders, and local leaders, they could not consolidate, organize themselves. So the problem is basically with the opposition political parties. But the other major issue that is emerging, I would say, that if this kind of vacuum will be created, and this would be a failure for Sheikh Hasina, I would say that the Islamic political forces will come on front, and that would that would pose a great challenge to the country that had been posed in the past also, while they opposed the creation of Bangladesh. The collaborators, Jamaat-e-Islam, now they are in another form. There is Hifazat-e-Islam. The 9 political forces are contesting elections. That is one thing, and they have been very active in 2001 to 2006 while the BNP was there. So point is there, I think while you will not have a very active opposition political forces rather than the religious forces, that would not be in good taste of Bangladesh, because Bangladesh has been very inclusive, very secular, syncretic culture, and that has been ruined, that has been distorted over the years. And Sheikh Hasina has also adopted a very pragmatic approach, is negotiating, compromising with the Islamic forces in Bangladesh. And because Bangladesh is known for cultural
Right.
construct rather than the religious construct, and they have opposed Pakistan on this ground. So point is there, these are the major issues that election is heading. And inflation, price hike, economic meltdown, those are the issues. But one more issue is also arising, that if the Americans and the West is not very happy with the election, what would happen with the fate of the economy and ready-made garments that has been the largest destination for the Bangladeshi garment sector. So these are the concerns that
All right.
then and of course, but there are also people support, because Bangladeshi people, they are very sentimental. They are not happy with that
Which is
Americans has
exactly
come.
what I was coming to. Which is exactly what I was coming to. I mean, Bangladeshi Nationalist Party being able to carry out their political day-to-day activities with their head sitting in London is a totally different question and a debate altogether. I'm trying to understand if this clarion call of the boycott by the opposition and the vacuum that it is creating and what kind of future repercussions it might have for the country as a whole, that is something that you've already thrown some light on. But this open call for a boycott, public sentiment, how has that been affected because of it?
No, they're very good question you have asked. In fact, I'm regularly following the developments in Bangladesh, and people, the opposition political forces, civil society, people, lawyers, journalists, academicians, they were very happy that now we will contest elections with more enthusiasm, and maybe that Sheikh Hasina will have a tough fight. And she can also lose the elections. But that the day BNP alliance decided to boycott the elections, they were very disappointed. They were very disappointed, and they have said that now BNP is more responsible for creating undemocratic culture in the country. Why they are not contesting elections? They have made a mistake in 2014. They did not participate in the elections, and in 2018 they participated, but again there are issues of financial issues and the leadership crisis and all that. But the people and the civil society at the micro level, you will go, and even at the meso level, while you're talking about the civil society, you will say they were very hopeful that we will participate in the elections, and if let the other political forces also have an opportunity to rule the country. But the problem that major alliance is boycotted, and that has been become very disappointing point. And now the opposition political forces from micro and macro level doesn't have any space to vote. So what is there? They are choosing their candidate within the positions, or I'd say that Awami League descendants or some of the political party like Trinamool BNP, and there are Supreme Party, there are Bangladesh Congress, and all these. They may choose some of the candidates, but that would not give the real feelings of the Bangladeshi people, that where actually they wanted to vote
Because the
in.
protests would, and the visuals of the protest, Professor, they sometimes suggest otherwise. I know that it's a big country, but the protests, it had a huge amount of people that was taking part, and this was the BNP that was leading the particular protest. So, I mean, I'm just trying to understand how the public sentiment was affected over there. But, shifting our focus a little bit over here, pre-poll violence is also something that we've seen in Bangladesh. We saw that train being gutted completely. We're learning of various schools that were set on fire. People are being killed. Pre-poll violence. I mean, would you like to throw some light on that as well? Why the frustration? Why so much frustration over there?
I will like actually very good question again. You have to understand the demography of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a very small country geographically. That's one third of Rajasthan, but the population is third times in Rajasthan. It's around 18 crore people are there in a small. And if there is a small call anywhere, and if you will go and walking in the streets of Dhaka, you will see that always crowded. So if
Yep.
any protest, any boycott, anything happens, and you will easily gather 10,000, 20,000, 50,000
Okay.
people. So it's not a big task that the people, the sentiments of the people are with the BNP. BNP, of course, while the a party has been ruling for last 15 years, definitely there are some factors that the people are not happy, one or other factors, and that they are looking the change in the country, that they are looking the change of the guard in the country. But the opposition, they themselves is not consolidating, and they are inclined either on the London forces or the American forces, and they are not actually executing and trying to convert this sentiments into the electoral politics would not work at all, and that is not working. And that's why you say that the election is foregone conclusion, because the position is, and I will appreciate that the way the election commission is coming out. He had changed all the district collectors after the this what you will say that the election declared, and he changed all police officers, and also deployed Sena Bahini in the streets. So he is very conscious about that there should not be any rigging and any manipulations of the election.
Right.
And I'll tell you
Right.
one thing. I'll tell
Yeah.
you, because I'm also contacting with number of the people in Bangladesh. If the voting turnout is more than 40, that was much more successful. For your surprise, 27 political parties are contesting elections, and there are 1,800 candidates. They are contesting
Right.
elections. And within the positions, there are oppositions, so they are also contesting freely. And they mean 16 or 18 ministers are under serious challenge, had been challenged by the other candidates within the constituency. So that would definitely give a very good account of that. And while you see the track records and credentials of the democracy, Awami League is far democratic, has far democratic credentials than the opposition political forces, because BNP was created by a military regime. That is the social
You're
consciences.
right. You're right.
Military, they work on their main slogan is on Islam and religion. So that would not work in Bangladesh at all.
Okay, and I mean, I do subscribe to that fact as well, that Awami League has a fair bit of history attached to it as well. It is pure legacy and lineage. I mean, of course, the current Prime Minister is also daughter of the founder of that particular party as well. So it is going to be difficult to oust her. So like you said it, some 1,800 candidates, 170 million people, they're going to be, going to, cast their ballot. First past the post system, is it really good for representation or not? People are calling it a sham vote. These kind of things, they don't usually happen inside newsroom studios, sir. But, we let this one fly because many are already saying that it's a done and dusted election. Before I let you go, sir, is your opinion the same? Is your opinion the same?
Let me add one concluding remarks. What is good for Bangladesh and what is good for Bangladeshis? It is always that Awami League had been good for Bangladesh. She fought for the liberation of the country, number one, from 1949 or 52 to 1971. The Awami Leaguers, Mukti Jodha, they sacrificed their lives for the democracy, for secularism, for Bengali nationalism, number one. Number two, while you're looking the economic performance of any political party, Awami League has done far better for the country. So people of Bangladesh, they are also liking Awami League, and particularly if I'll say Sheikh Hasina is very much uncontroversial, liked by the Bangladeshi people. Maybe there are grievances about the lieutenant or other political leaders within Awami League, but Sheikh Hasina is well accepted by the Bangladeshi people, and if she will continue, definitely Bangladesh will do far better than many Western countries in
All right,
economic.
Professor. All right. All right. Professor, one last thing. One last thing. Why is the Bangladeshi elections important to India? I mean, we know that we share 4,100 kilometers of border with that nation. For the longest time, we have been supportive of Sheikh Hasina. Sheikh Hasina's Awami League has been favorable to India on the global stage. What else? Why should we be interested in the Bangladeshi elections? Very quickly, for all the viewers, Professor.
If you are looking the geography, we are part of common ecological organic system. Number one. Number two, that the last few years we have developed a developmental ties. We are in the same boat, and the gestures of developmental or connectivity or progress had been developed by the two countries. I think that would continue, and we have been successfully resolved many of the contentious issues. Number three. Number four, of course, Bangladesh has been successfully addressed India's security concern on the northeastern regions, Ulfa, terrorism,
Right.
fundamentalism. And I think these are very important critical issues that let a progressive secular force remain in Bangladesh. And India is looking forward for that.
All right, Professor. Professor Bhardwaj, Department of Southeast Asian Studies, South Asian Studies, beg your pardon,
Okay.
at the JNU. Many thanks for joining with us. We'll keep coming back to you, Professor, for all the latest updates. I know you've been speaking to some crucial people over there. Many thanks for all the updates and your insightful inputs.